Okay, good evening or good afternoon or wherever you are. Welcome to the Nascar post race show. I am Brock Beard over at lascar.info, and we are currently awaiting results here from everything after Keselowski's victory today and a very rare and unfortunate last place finish for Kyle Busch. Unofficially, the streak of JTG Darty Racing's 4 consecutive last place finishes has now come to an end. They will not break the record for most last place finishes in a row. They have just tied the record set by Prism Motorsports in 2010, but now stand as one of only 2 teams in the history of the Cup Series to finish last in 4 consecutive points races. The battle ended quite early in the first 16 laps with Kyle Busch having a right front tire failure. Put the car into the wall very hard into turn 3, ultimately took him out of the race under the damaged vehicle policy, pulling the car behind the wall. The JTG guys, on the contrary, had a much better race than they've had in this last month, finishing, I believe, unofficially in the 14th and 16th positions. Stenhouse in 14th and Priest in 16th. A great turnaround for the both of them after what has been a difficult stretch there, starting with the pit road incident back in Indianapolis. So Kyle Busch, unofficially your last place finisher. His first last place finish since 2016 at Michigan. 3 of his most recent last place finishes have all come at Michigan, which is going to be our track next weekend for a doubleheader. Are we going to see Kyle Busch start a streak of his own? Who knows? We're going to have to find out next week, and we'll certainly do more coverage on that coming up there. Thank you, everyone, here for jumping on board. We got a few people in here. We'll do the trivia here pretty soon. With just the one race this weekend, I guess our race review section is going to be a little bit shorter here. I hope this show finds you all well and everything with everything going on in the world. I think it was very nice by Keselowski to mention not just, of course, the passing of Maurice Petty, but also, of course, of Bob Baer. In recent weeks, all the cars carrying logos commemorating both of them. That was a very well done there. Looking at the results here, Matt DiBenedetto with another great run. Kevin Harvick just edged him towards the end there, bumping him out of the top 5 again. DiBenedetto taking another step towards shoring up his spot in the playoffs. Cole Custer at 8th spot, continuing his run ever since his win at Kentucky. Tyler Reddick in the 10th spot, edging out that tight group there with Byron and Johnson there towards the end. Reddick having a great start this year. And Christopher Bell, for most of that race, seemed to be having a good shot at it. Unfortunately, that right rear tire failure that sent him to a spin, and then apparently something must have happened, I guess, after the car came off the jack, because then he ended up cutting the same tire, much like we had with Matt Kenseth with his right front earlier in the race, and both of them ended up well down in the order. Seeing that, where is it? Matt Kenseth in the next to last spot, the 37th spot, our first field of less than 40 cars since Homestead. And Christopher Bell shown in the 28th spot, 2 laps down between Brennan Poole and J.J. Yaley. Looking at further back, Ryan Blaney had a bizarre kind of a day. It seemed like he was going to be the 3rd guy up there at the beginning, being just as fast as Denny Hamlin and Keselowski were at the beginning. But for whatever reason, the strategy just didn't work out for him. He ends up in the 20th spot, the last car on the lead lap at the end. Looking at Jimmy Johnson coming back from his spin to finish in the 12th spot. Chase Elliott seemed, not sure about what his prospects were going to be coming into this race. Ends up with a 9th place finish. Martin Truex coming back from his penalty with the uncontrolled tire, finishing in the 3rd spot. A lot of interesting stories through this, and just the one race that we had this weekend. But looking forward to what's going to be a very busy weekend next week with not only, again, the 2 Cup races in Michigan, the Xfinity race at Road America, and a Truck Series race in Michigan as well. Going to be a very packed weekend. That's going to be another one where I'm going to be probably half asleep by the time we do our show on Sunday to wrap it all up. But we're going to that'll be our next planned live stream coming up. Before we get into trivia, I want to have another update on the video, the beginning of the end. I'm coming very close to finishing that. I'm trying a different strategy in some of the other videos. This one's going to be a bit more graphic heavy than video heavy. And I wanted to kind of make that look a little bit more polished. So I have a good rhythm going here, and I'm kind of tightening up a couple sections here to get it done. The video length is about an hour still, and I think that's going to be probably about the length of it. As soon as the video is done, I'm going to get a hold of Slap Shoes. We're going to work out when the release date's going to be, so that, of course, the advance access for the video will be anybody that's in the $5 level and up in Slap Shoes Patreon. at which point the video will then be on a YouTube premiere, go public for everybody. And I'd like to work out a time where he would be available as well. I know he and I both have pretty crazy work schedules, so I'm sure we'll work something out here. But it is looking like it's going to be a release around the middle of August, I would say. Don't have a firm date yet, but as soon as we do, you'll hear from the both of us on that, and we'll move forward on that as well. Beast of Metal, thank you so much for the super chat there. I'm sure someone's lighting a candle for Kyle Busch's season to date. I would, but I spent that money on the super chat. Well, thank you so much for the super chat. First of all, again, my goodness, you are you contribute so much, man. I want to make sure you're just donating what you can afford, because I really do appreciate it, but and everything on that. But mentioning Kyle Busch on there, yeah, I mean, what a difficult season he's had. It seems like his meme that he's developed here of just saying that it's 2020, which is, well, pretty much what everybody's existence is at this point, seems to be capturing the problems he's had this year, ever since he had that engine failure towards the end of the Daytona race, and all the other bad luck that he's had, even to the point now where he's no longer the top-ranked driver that doesn't have a win. Almirola's streak of top tens has put him ahead of the 18. Now Busch is now less than 100 points ahead of the bubble, again, pending the results of disqualification and so forth from there. I know Bubba Wallace had that 10-point penalty as well, and we'll see where that factors him in. I know that one roster they showed towards the end of the NBC broadcast showed Bubba Wallace about 117 points out. I don't know whether that factored in or not, but if it's 127 out, that gets to be really difficult, even with this number of races left. But yeah, certainly Kyle Busch having a bit of difficulty this year, maybe going through what Denny Hamlin had a few years ago, where you just don't have a guaranteed great season every year. But it seems highly unlikely with somebody like him, where he's been so good still in the Xfinity Series and the Truck Series since then. But we'll see if things turn around. It seemed like this was going to be one race where potentially they could squeak something out, a short run. He had a good draw, drawing the 5th spot, but different kind of deal there with all that. No, but again, really do appreciate it, Beast of Metal there. Thank you so much for sure. Let's see. Tad Hugo, seeing your comment there, will there be more commentary from you or from actual race commentators in general? Do you mean like I mean, let's see. Do you mean like just kind of is there wait, I see audio wise in the comment there. Is the audio coming through okay on here? Hopefully it is. But we can certainly, if you guys have any other questions on what happened in the race here today. I know it's a little different because we didn't have really a stacked weekend so much with all the events, but certainly next week's show will be different. But if there's anything else that I haven't touched on there, certainly definitely mention it in the comments, and I'd be happy to talk about it for sure. Brought out the Corey LaJoie shirt here. Unfortunately, not a good day for this guy in the 32 car. Had apparently what was a fuel cell issue, which seems like it's been a big issue for Timmy Hill's team this year, Motorsports Business Management. Kind of reminded of the issues they had at Martinsville when they had a good run under the lights earlier. Ended up losing about 39 laps. Did get past both John Hunter Nemechek, who had that very savage wreck in turn 3, and as well as Matt Kenseth to climb past both of them, but unfortunately not out of the bottom 5. And then him and Joey Gase rounding out the bottom 5 unofficially, again, pending the results of inspection. And we'll see what happens with Brad Keselowski and the rest of the leaders at the same time. Yeah. No, I like I definitely like the Skull Bandit throwback there. Good job by Corey LaJoie there on some of his graphics. I like the Stacking Pennies helmet that he had too. I thought that was a really cool deal with that. Yeah. The tragic mile for Blaney, the magic mile for Brad. Yeah, I see what you're saying there, Jake. Oh, in the beginning of the end video, Tad. Okay, yeah, no, thank you. Yeah, in the video for that, I mean, you'll see this once the video's when the video's done. Yeah, it's I kind of like doing, as you can see for some of my past ones, I kind of like to do things chronologically and bring up events that happened in certain races. So yeah, I mentioned that it was more graphically focused than video, but there is going to be video and some interviews that are relevant from the races. So we are going to be talking about certain races and certain moments along the way. Certainly, if you're talking about, again, racing, you can't not talk about Mark Martin almost winning the 2007 Daytona 500. That's certainly going to have a feature in there. And also certain qualifying sessions that were significant as well. So yeah, no, we're definitely going to be talking about the other races in that time period and presenting that chronologically. But I'm very pleased with how it's looking so far. It feels a little different, certainly from something like the Johnny Benson video or the Jerry Nadeau one, where it's mostly just race footage. In this one here, again, it's talking more about the business of the sport and a lot of the moving parts and really the effect of this particular experience within racing that's had that effect today. So that's going to be kind of in that same deal there. Did Almirola get a top 10? I thought he did. It seemed like he was right in the mix. Did he get shuffled out at the end, though? I know it got tight at one point. Yes, it's unofficially showing him in the 7th spot, showing him 13.528 seconds back of the lead. And he had about a 3.3-second lead on his teammate Cole Custer in the 8th spot before these results get refreshed here. The unofficial margin of victory, 1.647 seconds from Keselowski back to Denny Hamlin and in the race here today. Yeah, that would definitely be, yeah. So we are going to be talking about the races in the beginning of the end video and kind of tying that together. It was a little bit of a tricky script in that sense, but I'll be very interested to see what you guys think about it once it's done there. I think Slapshoe's narration is really good too, and I think it's going to be a good balance there between our narrative styles and really kind of the themes of our videos too, with him looking kind of at some of these stories on the business side of the sport and then other ones where I've done where it's been just kind of a chronology of certain drivers and teams. I think it's a good way to kind of lump all that together. So looking forward to getting that to you guys. Stay tuned. We'll have more information on that on the Twitter here pretty soon to get you that information. We're going to go ahead and jump into the trivia here. But again, if you guys have any other questions on anything that happened during the New Hampshire race today, probably be a shorter show today just because of that. But we'll do trivia here for a little bit. And anything else you want to ask about, definitely fire away. Let's see. In searchers or from the TV commentators. Oh, Tad Hugo. Yeah, no, thank you. I'm sorry to keep misinterpreting here. Yeah, from there's going to be a decent balance of it between the commentators of the clips and for the both of us there. So yeah, you're gonna get a bit of both, but it's mostly, I would say, between just myself and Slapshoes versus the audio. There's fewer clips that have audio in this than something like 3 Before February or something had. Not giving too much of it away, but that's going to be kind of the angle on that. I didn't know about the Magic Mile story there, Blake Thiemann. I wasn't sure about the situation with that, but certainly from what I've heard about the customer service over at the track, it doesn't surprise me that they had some kind of tie with using the customer service training that they use at the Disney resorts. It makes an interesting story there on that. So it was interesting to catch that. It'll be interesting to see if that actually came up here on this thing. Now, wouldn't that be strange? Maybe we'll do one in tracks just to see if it we get something like that. Alrighty. Okay. I don't know if we did this question. Let me jump into this one here. So first question here for our trivia segment tonight: who made a record 25 straight starts at the Die Hard 500? Our first question of the day: who made a record 25 straight starts at the Die Hard 500? There we go. 9 consecutive top 10s for Almirola. My goodness. Jeff K, best New Hampshire Cup race? It might be. It's certainly up there. There's been some other ones with fuel mileage that are exciting, and I seem to remember one where Keselowski and Johnson were really going at it there a few years ago. They seem to have some good ones. Who made a record 25 straight starts at the Die Hard 500 is our question. I think this is left over from the tracks category that we did last week. I did not see the IMSA race. I didn't catch that. I haven't. This is basically the first race I've watched this weekend here. I know William Saki did the ARCA coverage, but they had some challenges with that with the rain delay there. So we'll see what's going on. If you haven't seen William's article already from the first round of the Toledo doubleheader, that's already posted on the site there, so you can check that out. Alrighty. Who made a record 25 straight starts at the Die Hard 500 is our first question. And the answer is Dave Marcus. Dave Marcus looks like Daniel Knutson. Looks like you got it. Blake Thiemann, you got it. Ultimate 23 Dragon. There you go. Looks like a number of you guys got that. There you go. Excellent. Dave Marcus is indeed the correct answer. Alrighty. Well, if I went ahead and do this, we'll do another one here for we'll pick a category here in a bit. Let me do just a couple of these track questions here to lead us off. Next question, where did Ernie Irvin score his first NASCAR Winston Cup win? Where did Ernie Irvin score his first NASCAR Winston Cup win? Caleb Watkins, I agree. Yeah, J.J. Yaley is having a great season. He's been very solid in that 27 car, especially these last few rounds, being able to kind of survive some of these accidents and mechanical issues. But in this one here, the fact that they had such low attrition, where was he? He seemed like he was right around where Bell was by the time the thing ended. Yeah, 29th. I mean, that's not bad. I mean, it's certainly with Rick Ware's team. It's been a team that's certainly been featured more often than not on our website, but they have not been as much of a frequent visitor to the last place spot this year. Certainly not this summer. You've seen a lot more of the bigger chartered teams there kind of getting dropped back there instead. So our question here again, where did Ernie Irvin score his first NASCAR Winston Cup win? And the answer is indeed Bristol. Martin Henderson, you got it right off the bat there. So said head 2, Jack Garland. 8206, Daniel Knutson. There you go. 27 is the X Premium car. Yeah, they did the merger during the COVID break. Apparently, the Panini sponsorship that with Greg Alding wanted him to run the 27 for Darlington, and so they just ended up having that number run instead of 52. So the primary ones, the Ware team, are the 27, the 52, or 53, and the 51. Although that penumbra of the Rick Ware thing also includes the 15 of the former Premium team and the 77 of the Premium's former partner at Spire Motorsports. So you basically have those 5 cars under that full embrace. It's interesting if you look closely at some of the shots of the 15, it still has a Premium logo on it. Of course, the 77 is still listed under Spire, but there's this technical alliance has grown so large now that you have all of that going on. You looked at Racing Reference. Oh my goodness. Daniel Newton said, "Yeah, glad you like the starting grids." I always mentioned the. Thank you, first of all, there for being a fan of the starting grids. I do enjoy doing those from time to time. It's unfortunate this year when qualifying is pretty much not going to happen the rest of this season. So a starting lineup is not necessarily going to be. I mean, well, it'll be possible, but it's just not going to be a result of anything, any events from qualifying. They always like mixing into those videos. But we do still have that same stretch goal on the Patreon. If we reach that $100 level, we'll do another starting grid for any Cup, Xfinity, or Truck Series race from this season. And any of you Patreon members in there will be able to vote on which one that you would like us to do, or like me to do, rather. And we'll do that. Now, the sooner we reach that level, the more races you have an option of picking before the end of the year. We're about to get into the playoffs in the not-too-distant future. So if you're interested in more starting grids, definitely check out patreon.com/LascarOnBrock for more details. And also get yourself some Lascar swag at the same time. We got bumper stickers, and we still have die-cast to give away and things like that. And we also do newsletters. I just sent out a recent batch of newsletters to a number of the members there. So if you're in the Patreon, make sure you add your mailing address as well so I can send those to you. I know that I've heard from a couple people that they've started receiving them there. So if you have joined the Patreon and you have your address in there, you should be receiving them. If you haven't, definitely contact me through the Patreon there, and we'll get you hooked up on that as well. Alrighty. Let's go ahead and we'll pick a category here for the next one here. We'll go ahead and start from the top. Which category would you like me to do here? First one, NASCAR. Second, pits. Third, teams. Fourth, tracks. Fifth, drivers. And sixth is, of course, the wild card. Okay. And then we have, again, NASCAR, pits, teams, tracks, drivers, and the wild card. Jack Garland, you're asking about the Hendrick engines with Ginn. They did. That'll actually be covered more in the video. And the reason why they had the Hendrick engines, I'm going to leave you to wait on that. There's actually a very interesting story on that. I actually found some other information that seems like there were more developments on that later on. We may discuss that once the video gets released there. But that'll be another one to talk about. Again, the category is NASCAR, pits, teams, tracks, drivers. Excuse me, add the wild card. I see 4, 5 for drivers. Okay. So we'll do drivers here to lead off here. Whoop, hang on. Let's get back around to that. Okay. And we'll see. Okay. First question for the drivers category. What year in the 80s did Lake Speed post his first NASCAR Winston Cup win? What year in the 80s did Lake Speed post his first NASCAR Winston Cup win? This is actually one that comes up in the video, both one that I did with, or not, I guess it wasn't one, was it one I did with, maybe it might have been one that NASCAR Man History did before I jumped on board there with the 1994 video, but I know Slap Shoes did it as well, so definitely a topic there. And you guys all got it there. Looks like the answer is indeed 1988 is the correct answer. Martin Henderson, Bean Boy, Sedhead 2, Ultimate 23 Dragon, Jack Garland, Daniel Knudsen, Isaac McKissick. You guys all got it there. All right. Do I know how many cars were in Carl Long's shop? I'm not sure. That's a good question. That'd be something I would have to ask Wookie Atomo on that on Twitter. He seems to be the insider there with a lot of what's going on at the MBM team there. Whatever it is, they're definitely making the best use out of it. And hopefully they get some adjustments worked out on their Xfinity downforce track car, that orange and blue car that's finished the last few rounds here with Stephen Light. Seems like they've had some serious handling and mechanical issues with that. Hopefully something gets worked out on that. Alrighty, here we go. Who was the only woman to drive in the Daytona 500 through 1998? So, okay, we gotta go back in the time machine, and we got to cut off at a certain point here. So we're not talking about Danica Patrick, for example. Who was the only woman as of 1998 through 1998, the only woman to drive in the Daytona 500? Yeah, I believe Stephen Light is pronounced, yeah, Light. At least that's how I pronounce it. I haven't heard that so much yet. There we go. Yep, I'm seeing guesses for Shauna Robinson. That's close. That BAM Racing entry in 2002. The only woman to drive in the Daytona 500 through 1998. Alrighty. And the answer is indeed Janet Guthrie. Janet Guthrie is the correct answer. Ultra 23 Dragon, Beast of Metal, Mean Boy, Blake Thiemann, Martin Henderson, Isaac McKissick, Sedhead 2, Jack Garland, Daniel Knudsen, Tad Hugo. There you go. You all got it there. Yes, Janet Guthrie is the correct answer. Let's see if we get some harder ones here. What Indiana city does Jeff Gordon call home? What Indiana city does Jeff Gordon call home? That is our next one. 4 for 4. Daniel, you're on a roll, man. See if you get this one. What Indiana city does Jeff Gordon call home? Let me grab this here. All right. Edmonton, Pittsburgh. These questions are too easy for you guys. Too easy for you folks here. What Indiana city does Jeff Gordon call home? The answer is indeed Pittsburgh. Yep. There we go. Yeah, there's different ones where, I mean, they'll credit Vallejo for his birthplace, and then there you go. Yeah, another one's 8206. Yeah, you have people, drivers that list Charlotte as their hometown, even if they moved or something like that. But yeah, Pittsburgh is the correct answer. All right, let's see what we got here. What Western U.S. state was Derek Cope born in? Derek Cope question. What Western U.S. state was Derek Cope born in? That is our next question. What Western U.S. state was Derek Cope born in? Washington, California? This is a little bit more of a tricky one. Now, I know there's only so many Western states. However, it's a little bit of a tricky one from my understanding. What Western U.S. state was Derek Cope born in? Alrighty. And the answer it gives is California. There we go. Now, always known as being from Spanaway, Washington. So, yeah, I mean, anybody that said Washington, I give you credit on that one, too. But apparently he was born in the San Diego area. That was my understanding. So, yeah, it went by California. That was the answer it decided to give on this one. Here we go. Currently watching the 1999 season, Daniel. That's a good choice. That was a fun season. There was a lot of crazy stuff that happened. A lot of beautiful paint schemes. The Cup Series. Obviously, everybody talks about that Bristol Night race for obvious reasons, as such a good race as it was. But at the same time, you have some other great races. The Spring Martinsville race is good. I mean, really, there's not really many bad ones. I mean, there's that Michigan race where nothing happens that Dale Jarrett won, but even then, you have some good racing back then and good teams. That's a lot of fun. Oh yeah, Martin, if you're a Jarrett fan, you're definitely enjoying the '99 season, except for maybe that Bristol race since he got in a wreck in that one. Alrighty. Okay, this is too easy. Come on, let's get some harder ones. Here we go. Who led laps in 25 of the 31 races he entered in 1996? Who led laps in 25 of the 31 races he entered in 1996? Now, I assume this is the Cup Series. Most of these are Cup questions. Who led laps in 25 of the 31 races he entered in 1996? I guess it's for Gordon and Martin. There you go. Yeah, the caution-free race. There you go. 95 Bristol Night race is good too. Absolutely. Those are both very much fun to watch. Have we heard this question before? We might have. I mean, we may be recycling some of these at some point. I guess that was inevitable at some point. But if these get too repetitive, we're going to have to explore other options here with our maybe that too, or our trivia for sure. Alrighty, who led laps in 25 of the 31 races he entered in 1996? The answer is indeed Jeff Gordon. Jeff Gordon. So Isaac McKissick, Bean Boy, Piece of Metal, and Daniel Knutson got that one. Yeah, it's at 31, 25 of 31. Okay, here we go. All right, now we got a different one here. Who clinched his first Winston Cup title at the first November Winston Western 500? Let me read that one again. Who clinched his first Winston Cup title at the first November Winston Western 500? Yeah, it seems like were there 32 in 96? It could be they maybe got it wrong. It said 25 of 31, but maybe they were incorrect. It's entirely possible. Wouldn't be the first time that it's got something wrong on this. 96. In 96 says 31. They had 32 races in 97. So okay, so it looks like that one's right, but it's very close though, very close. Let's get that window back open. Alrighty. The question again: Who clinched his first Winston Cup title at the first November Winston Western 500? I guess it's for Bobby Allison, Rusty, DW, Earnhardt, DW, Elliott Sr. Alrighty, and the answer is Darrell Waltrip. Darrell Waltrip is the correct answer. Darrell Waltrip is the correct answer. So 8206. You were first on that one. Dusty DeBoer. Dusty DeBoer. After that, Daniel Knutson. Sedhead 2. Bean Boy 89. There we go. Martin Henderson. There you go. 7 for 8. There you go. Yeah, some of these are tricky. Okay. What year in the 50s? Got to go turn back the clock even further. What year in the 50s did Tim Flock win his second Winston Cup title? What year in the 50s did Tim Flock win his second Winston Cup title? That is our next question. What year in the 50s did Tim Flock win his second Winston Cup title? His second title. Okay, I guess it's for 54, 55, 53, 51, 59, 57. Several for 55 here. The answer coming up. The answer is 1955. 1955. Jack Garland, looks like you were first. 8206. Ted Hugo. Said Ed 2. Martin Henderson, Isaac McKissick, and Dale Knutson. Although you used Racing Reference, see if you can do it without Racing Reference. It's a little more sporting that way. I usually say that as a rule, but there's no points or anything in here, so whatever works on there. Okay. Oh, this is okay. It's interesting how this is phrased. Who drove around with a bunch of wacky cartoon characters in 1998? Who drove around with a bunch of wacky cartoon characters in 1998? Works for Toyota. Well, there you go. Who drove around with a bunch of wacky cartoon characters in 1998 is our next question. This is a little bit of a tricky one because there's some ways that could be made more difficult. Okay, Lake Speed, Jeff Green, Robert Presley, Nadu, Lake Speed or Nadu, Lake Speed and Nadu. Who drove around with a bunch of wacky cartoon characters in 1998? Yeah, the Zombie Island paint scheme is really good. That's a good one. And the answer they went for was Lake Speed. They were just looking for the first half of the season. Those of you who said Lake Speed and Jerry Nadu or Jerry Nadu, certainly give credit for that because I can see how that would be confusing. But with the driver handoff, it's going with the first part of the 98 season. And so we got yet another Lake Speed question. Like Speed if you want. Alrighty. What 1972 NASCAR Winston Cup Rookie of the Year is from Lenoir, North Carolina? I think we had this one too. Lenoir. I think I've mispronounced this the last time I asked it too. What 1972 NASCAR Winston Cup Rookie of the Year is from Lenoir, North Carolina? When did I get this? I've had this since 2001. Grad night in high school. Won it in won as a door prize back then. So, and the battery life is really good. Now, I keep saying that. Now, I'll probably conk out while I'm doing this, but it's had something like that. Alrighty. Let's see here. What 1972 NASCAR Winston Cup Rookie of the Year is from Lenoir, North Carolina? Okay, we got Benny Parsons, Larry Smith, Gabriel. I'm afraid I'm not sure who that is, Beast of Metal, but there you go. Jeff Fuller. Yeah, it's probably, yeah, you're right. It was probably completed before that. But yeah, the copyright on the back of it is 1998 there. Okay, the answer is indeed Larry Smith. Martin Henderson, you got it there. Who else? Alrighty. Dale Knutson. And Dale Knutson and Martin Henderson. Looks like it's just you two. There you go. Yeah, Larry Smith, the Rookie of the Year. Okay. Alrighty. Here we go. Next question. Oh, we got a different series question now. Who won the 1996 NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series Championship? Who won the 1996 NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series Championship? There you go. Truck Series question. Who won the 1996 NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series Championship? Skinner, Hornaday. Any other guesses on there? Who won the 1996 NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series Championship? Yeah, Larry Smith was the one that passed away in Talladega. I believe it was Set Head too. I think you're right. It was about the helmet padding. That was a factor in that. It's a very mysterious story. Not a lot of details on that one, but that was certainly one. Who won the 1996 NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series Championship? I guess it's for Hornaday, Sprague, and Skinner. And the answer is Ron Hornaday. Ron Hornaday, indeed, is the correct answer. Okay. Well, okay, I think I've had this one before. Yeah, I think we did that already. Okay, we've had that one. Uh-oh, I'm seeing some repeated ones here. These are ones I definitely remember. Okay, here we go. Definitely don't look at racing reference on this one because this will give you the answer pretty quick. Okay, how many top 5 finishes did Jeff Gordon have during his rookie season? How many top 5 finishes did Jeff Gordon have during his rookie season? We're looking for a number. How many top 5 finishes did Jeff Gordon have during his rookie season? 11 for 12, 11, 13, 5, 57, 8, 15, 6. This is top 5 finishes that Jeff Gordon had during his rookie season. We're saying 93, yeah. 93 would be what we're talking about here, rookie cup season. How many top 5 finishes did Jeff Gordon have during his rookie season? Okay, between 1 and 30, there we go. Got to play the field there. Gonna bet on red. There we go. Okay. How many top 5 finishes did Jeff Gordon have during his rookie season? The answer is 7. 7 is the correct answer. NASCAR fan 93-100 and Martin Henderson. Looks like you got it. Who else did? Okay, wow. It's like everybody else is wide of the mark there. Until no, Dale Newton, you got even earlier. There you go. 7 is indeed the correct answer. Yeah, go figure. Top 5. Ooh. Okay, I don't think we've had this one before. What famous father-son pair took first and second at Heidelberg in 1960? What famous father-son pair took first and second at Heidelberg in 1960? Yes, 7. 7 was the correct one there. Could be 57. You never know. What famous father-son pair took first and second at Heidelberg in 1960? 1960. 1960 is the question. All right, Petties, Bakers, Flocks, Lee and Richard, Bobby and Brett Hold, Petties, Senior Johnson and Junior Johnson. All righty. Could be the Petties, but we'll see. What famous father-son pair took first and second at Heidelberg in 1960? 1960. And the answer is Lee and Richard Petty. There you go. Lee and Richard Petty. So Isaac McKissick, looks like you were first on that one. Martin Henderson. Martin Henderson, you got it. Isaac McKissick. Dusty DeBoer. Dale Knutson. Said Head 2. Tad Hugo. Bean Boy 89. And NASCAR Fan 93-100. There you go. Try to get some harder ones here. Wow. A little bit of, okay. Now, I know last week you guys were asking if we can get some NASCAR questions on here. I got at least one request for that. You may not believe this, but we have one here. Get this. What NASCAR Winston Cup driver finished last at Talladega and Daytona in 1992? How about that? How about that? This is a good pick here on this one. What NASCAR Winston Cup driver finished last at Talladega and Daytona in 1992? Check that out. There you go. You see that there? Finished last at both. There we go. In 1992. What NASCAR Winston Cup driver finished last at Daytona and Talladega in 1992? We got Rusty, Richard Petty, Bodine, Earnhardt Sr., Del Coward, H.B. Bailey, Bobby Hillen, Kyle Petty. It doesn't say which one. It says Talladega and Daytona in 1992. Which NASCAR Winston Cup driver? So only one driver apparently finished last at any one of either of those races. At one at Talladega and one at Daytona in the same season in 1992. Bob Shack, Jeff Brabham, Lee Raymond. Got all kinds of fun answers here. All righty. And the answer is Dale Earnhardt. Dale Earnhardt is indeed the answer. Dale Earnhardt had a series of engine failures and just terrible luck in the 92 season that dropped him out of the top 10 in points for the first time in several years. Among these were the final last place finishes of his Cup Series career. The last of those was at Martinsville in the fall race. We had another engine failure in that one. And the number 3 would not finish last again until Austin Dillon, I believe, at Chicagoland in like 2015, 2016, thereabouts. So yeah, Earnhardt Sr. How about that? But yeah, a lot of the big reason that he was so off in 92 were these mechanical failures. And I think you kind of sense it from Kirk Shelmerding's interviews on the Scene Vault podcast and everything. They just had some problems that year, and they needed a fresh start with Andy Petrie, and that's basically what happened at that point. Alrighty. Here we go. What driver started his career under the assumed name John Lentz in the 50s? This is a weird one. What driver started his career under the assumed name John Lentz in the 50s? L-E-N-T-Z is the spelling. What driver started his career under the assumed name John Lentz in the 50s? In the 50s. Alrighty. Herb Thomas, Richard Petty, Dick Trickle, Cale Yarborough, Fireball Roberts. How about that? Keselowski matching Fireball Roberts on the all-time wins list. That's exciting. It's good to see, good to hear the history of the sport get mentioned in a statistical way here. What driver started his career under the assumed name John Lentz in the 50s? Jack Smith, Cale Yarborough. Alrighty. The answer is Ned Jarrett. Ned Jarrett. Gentleman Ned went under a pseudonym. I would not have guessed that. I almost thought it was like Cale Yarborough. Dusty DeBoer, when you said Yarborough, it kind of reminded me of the thing where he tried to race when he was too young to do so. Yeah, Ned Jarrett. Yeah. Why would he not want to be called Ned Jarrett? What driver started the career under the name John Lentz in the 50s? J-O-H-N-L-E-N-T-Z. That's a really tricky one. That's a tricky one. Yeah, would not have guessed that. All righty. We'll probably wrap this up here in a little bit. It's going to be a shorter show here tonight. I know I see some of you guys are heading out here, so we'll probably do just a couple more here. All righty. What did Rusty Wallace have a whopping 11 of in his 1997 season? What did Rusty Wallace have a whopping 11 of in his 1997 season? Yeah, I guess there was that his family didn't want to know he was racing. Yeah, that's right. I forgot. I didn't remember it being a pseudonym, though. That's interesting. What did Rusty Wallace have a whopping 11 of in his 1997 season? DNFs, poles, top fives. Alrighty, and the answer is indeed DNFs. DNFs is correct. 11 DNFs for Rusty Wallace. And wow, yeah, finished 9th in points. Well, there you go. 11 fistfights with Jeff Gordon. There you go. That would be something else. That first year with the blue and white scheme on the Miller Lite car was not one of his best, but there you go. DNFs. We got some great last place stats here. Okay. Last question of the night. We're going to make this a bit of a briefer show tonight here with just the one race here. But again, thank you guys for tuning in. We'll do some more here next week for our Michigan show. This will be our last question for tonight. Oh, you did win Suzuka. Well, there you go. Well, you won Suzuka in 96. In 97, wasn't that Skinner? Because then Skinner won the 98, or did he win both of them? Maybe I'm remembering that wrong. I'm probably remembering that wrong. Let's see. Rusty Wallace. Exhibition races. Yeah, 97, the Thunder Special, he was 29th. Yeah, Skinner won at Suzuka in 97. There you go. Okay, here we go. Last question of the night, folks. This is a pet question. What NASCAR Winston Cup driver has two cats named Gizmo and Goblin? Now, again, we're thinking late 90s. At that time, what NASCAR Winston Cup driver has two cats, one named Gizmo and one named Goblin? Don't look it up. Just go ahead and try to guess. No such thing as a bad guess here. What NASCAR Winston Cup driver has two cats named Gizmo and Goblin? Go ahead and get those guesses in there. Kyle Petty, Hamilton, Chad Little, Sr., Nathaniel McKinnon, okay, Ricky Rudd. What NASCAR Winston Cup driver has two cats named Gizmo and Goblin? Those are our questions. Last question of the night. Get those guesses in there. What NASCAR Winston Cup driver has two cats named Gizmo and Goblin? Schrader, Chad Little, Ernie Irvin. Okay, several good guesses here. All righty. Coming up to the end here. What NASCAR Winston Cup driver has two cats named Gizmo and Goblin? Okay. And the answer is Kenny Schrader. Kenny Schrader. Bean Boy 89. Looks like you got that. Were you the only one? I think somebody else had Schrader earlier. Did they? No, that was Kyle Petty. Schrader. Bean Boy 89. Oh, and Blake Thiemann, you got it too. There you go. Kenny Schrader. Wow, how about that? Well, see, you never know what kind of questions you get on there. And Dale Newton, 16 for 19. That's not bad. So there you are. Well, we're going to call that a night for tonight. Well, thank you again, everyone, for tuning in. Hope you enjoy the activity on a brief weekend with just the Cup Series race. I'll have the article up for you later tonight here for Kyle Busch's last place finish unofficially, depending on what the results from technical inspection are. And then we'll have, I think William's going to have another article on the doubleheader on the ARCA side. And then we'll look ahead towards the weekend preview this Thursday for the action in Michigan and Road America. And again, stay tuned for more updates on the beginning and the end, the video that I'm doing with Slap Shoes on the history of yin racing. So in the meantime, again, patreon.com/LascarOnBrock is the Patreon, @LascarOnBrock is the Twitter. And the website, of course, is lascar.info. Thank you again so much, everyone, for tuning in. And remember, folks, last happens. Take it easy, everyone. Have a good night.